All right. That'll wake you up. This mic is hot. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Connect 2019 here in beautiful Austin, Texas. You guys like the fact that I turned the temperature down for you here? Yeah. I've lived in Texas before. I heard Austin, and I was like, oh, God, sweat shields. Need sweat shields. I turned it down. It's like a beautiful 70 degrees today. It's sunny. You cannot get any better. Get out and enjoy the weather this evening. But we just want to say hey and welcome to everybody that's here. All the about 150 of you guys that came to Austin, and everybody watching on the live stream. One of the cool parts about when we do this is not only do you get the hands-on stuff here, but the keynote we always live stream. So there are people all across the country watching right now. So welcome all you guys. We also want to say thanks to our partners. So we've got a couple of partners, LG and Pioneer, who help make this possible for us, that support the Millviewer platform and some other things. And they help make this happen, so thank you to those guys. So how many people that you've done one of these before? Whether one of our user groups from back in the day, yeah, hands everywhere, right? This is our second time bringing everyone together. We love our user groups. It's such a fun thing for us to do as a company, getting to see all you guys. There's some big advantages, and we ask some folks, like, what makes you keep coming back? What makes you keep doing these things? Because we get so much repeat attendance. And some of the things that we hear is like, man, I just love being able to put a face with a name, because you get to talk to customer care people, and then you get to meet them in person and see the people who help solve your problems. Getting to interact with our peers is a big one. Like people say, like, I just love being able to like meet other people that have similar issues with their cafeteria programs and figure out how they're doing things, and that kind of peer-to-peer interaction. And then really it's that whole thing about figuring out how to better serve parents and students. And so for us, that's a big thing. We branded this year as Connect, right? For us to be connected as a group, to connect to you, to help you connect to parents and students. This is our first year branding that, and we really want to focus on that this year. And so there's a couple of things you can do to be better connected. All of you have name badges. On the bottom of those name badges are brightly colored ribbons. And so it's an easy visual way for you to find other folks that have a similarity, a commonality with you, maybe in the product line, that they use, and ask those questions. And we wanted you to really connect with your peers. We also want you to be able to take some of the things that you learned this week, whether it be a new procedural thing with our products, or one of the leadership classes, or even how to make food animals on your line, those types of things. Like, we wanted you to be able to take that back and bring some of the things that we do culturally to your culture, to your staff. And so we want you to be able to connect with your staff. If you were here in Austin a couple of weeks ago for the SNIC, one of the big topics there was kind of staff turnover and churn, and how do you reach out and like reach millennials and all that other stuff, right? Well, we hope that you're going to learn some things, that help you build stronger relationships with your staff as well. Like that's really our goal, is to really focus on relationships, because at the end of the day, the one thing we know at Heartland is that's the name of the game, is relationships. It's how we build our relationship with you and how well we take care of you as a customer. And there are tons of customer care people here and the people who run those departments, and we're just excited that you're here. So thank you so much for taking the time and the investment. If you're watching online, put it on your calendar. Make sure that you're here next year. Like, this is these people come back every year because the investment is worth it. And so thank you guys so much for taking the time to be here. Now, one of the things that keep me coming back every year is that this is one of my favorite things, because I get to hear from our leadership. Like, right, I get to hear all the things that we're doing, the missions that we have, the focus that we're going to go through in the next year to try to help serve you better. And so it's time for that. And so lean in, get excited, get ready to connect. I'm going to introduce you guys to our new Senior Vice President of School Solutions here at Heartland, Jeremy Loch. Jeremy?
Well, thank you, Tommy. And on behalf of myself and all of us here at Heartland that are here and at home, I want to formally welcome you to our 2019 Connect Conference. We are thrilled that you chose to join us here, thrilled to have the folks here online. And I also want to say thank you for the very important work that you all do each day, and for letting us be a small part of that program, being a small part of your program. As Tommy said, this is really the second user conference where we've brought together customers from all across the Heartland brands. And in addition to the training and things that we normally provide, chance to go a little bit deeper on some things, what we also kind of recognized was that a lot of the, obviously a lot of the challenges that you all face and opportunities and things are shared across our customer base. So no matter which brand or which product you're using, and it gives us all an opportunity to come here and have some dialogue and talk about, how we might be able to approach some of those challenges together. We love doing these conferences, and that main reason is we get to connect with you all. No matter how many school nutrition conferences we go to, or state shows, or daily smart briefs we read, or the school nutrition magazine, there's just no substitute for us getting to spend some time with you all and learn about the things that are going well and that you've had success with, but also where some of the challenges and opportunities are. And sometimes we get to connect in ways that we didn't even anticipate. So just a real brief kind of funny story now, it's funny now, from last year, was day 2 of the conference, and the conference had kicked off, and it had been going pretty well, and classes had started, and everything was going, but it came time for that block of time for lunch. And it was about noon, and everybody gathered up, and there was one critical piece missing from lunch. Some of you were here last year. It was the food, right? Food's a big part of lunch. So we called the caterer, and it was somebody that was off-site, and they called the driver, and they couldn't get a hold of the driver, went right to voicemail. So we're thinking, oh gosh, did he get lost? Did he think it was at 1 o'clock? Heaven forbid, did something happen? All these things going through our head. And so about 12:10, anxiety is really setting in. And so we gathered up and said, all right, we're ordering pizza. But now what, right? So we were very fortunate. We have a former food service director, Julie Dorma, was on staff, who helped huddle up with us and say, okay, looks like about 60, 65 pizzas. You're going to want to do cutlery, salads, all that stuff. So we did that, we ordered it, and by some minor miracle, at about 5 to 1, the pizza showed up, and we were able to start lunch. And fortunately, we were able to have some control over the schedule, but we didn't want to push everything back too far because it would go into the evening and you start to lose people. So I don't know if you can believe this, but we had to put a couple hundred people through a line in like 20 minutes, right? I mean, who does that, right? Well, of course, right? You guys do that every day. And and if we had to do it the next day, we'd have been out. We were like, we're done with this, right? But the more serious kind of side of that is that we expected, anticipated, and needed the food and the delivery and all of that to go well, so that we could focus on the other more important parts of the conference. And we don't take that lightly. That with your point of sale, menu planning, payments, communication tools, online apps, all that stuff, you expect, anticipate, and need those things to go very, very well, so that you're not diverted your attention away from connecting up with your staff and your customers and doing all those other things. And so sometimes, again, ways we can't anticipate, we had a chance to walk a mile in your shoes, and it was very, very impactful. We do have food ordered for today. It's on site. It's already being prepped, so I didn't want anybody to be concerned. So I'm not new to Heartland, but as Tommy mentioned, I am new to my role. And as I've sat in your chair and online and watched other company keynotes over the years and kind of taken some of those in general, I feel like there are these kind of long slideshow presentations, and it tells you how great the company is and how it's growing and shiny new products that are coming out and 3.8 and 4.0 and all these different things. And all of that's fine, but it sometimes feels like an inordinate amount of time spent not only talking about the company, which you would expect, but maybe talking about the company in ways that you don't really connect with. And so we wanted to do this just a little bit differently today. Wanted to talk through a little bit more about who we are here at Heartland, and allow you to maybe connect with us on just a little deeper level than maybe you have before. And we'll have plenty of time throughout the conference to talk about all those other great things along the way. But I just want to kind of use your imagination and pretend we're having a one-on-one kind of conversation at a reception or something, and that you've asked about, what is Heartland, who is Heartland, what are you guys doing? And just to kind of play that a little bit further, if on that one-on-one conversation I come out to you and say, here's all the great things I've done the last year. I've been to CrossFit 3 times the past week. I'm on this new crazy keto diet. I just listened to this new book on. I think that's off-putting, right? Nobody wants to have a conversation with that person, and you sure as heck don't want to sit by them when it comes time to sit down for dinner. But probably 4 things that really guide us here at Heartland that I'd call characteristics or philosophies. It's not. I don't want values and vision and mission and those types of things. These probably fold into that some way, but they're just going to kind of list them out there and talk a little bit about them because they're characteristics and philosophies really that guide us each day. And the first one is that we're committed to being a leader in the K-12 industry in this space long term. The second thing is that our employee engagement and enthusiasm is the absolute most important thing that we do here. The third thing, we aspire to be a world-class service organization. And lastly, we want to be innovative in all areas, product, marketing, how we work. So, again, we don't have a big, long deck, but I just want to talk briefly about each one of those and just give you a little more depth on what those are and how they guide us. Being committed to being a leader in the industry long term, that guides everything we do, from our investment in products, technology, people, how we market, how we interact with competitors, what partners we seek out. We're hoping to be here a long time. And all the people that you see here and at home at Heartland, in our division here, we're focused solely on K-12. And that means all shapes and sizes of districts, small, large, public, private, no matter how you feel about technology, whether you're somebody that wants to be an early adopter, maybe you're somebody that wants to see something play out a little bit longer, maybe that just depends upon the technology. But we're here to serve all the districts in K-12. And to be here in the long term and to be a leader, we want to be able to continue to evolve. Some of you, Tommy referenced the industry conference, which was just about 15 blocks south of here in Austin in January. They had a futurist speak by the name of Daniel Burris. First of all, who knew a futurist was a career? I guess he looks kind of 10 or 15 years out, and it seemed to be he was always right. But about that. But anyway, Daniel talked about how we're living in an age where technology is advancing exponentially, not linearly, exponentially. All of the changes from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, all of that's coming home to be now, and it's all changing very rapidly. And we want to be a part of that and take advantage of that, and we're integrating a lot of that into our Mosaic hosted platforms and our MCS cloud platforms. But to be a leader long term, we also know, again, supporting all districts, that we want to be able to grow and support those brands you know and love. So I'm talking about NutriKids, Lunchbox, Cafe Enterprise, WebSmart. Those are all outstanding products that we continue to develop and we service on each and every day. And all of that on both ends of the spectrum, again, part of being a leader long term is doing both of those things. And so very committed on both fronts. The second thing around our employees and making sure they have engagement and enthusiasm, our credo or our philosophy behind that, of course, is that they're the ones that are interacting the most with you all. So I can stand up at our company meetings and say what I think we want us to be about, or put together slides, or put out emails, or whatever, but it's really that cultural piece, because we can't be at everyday interaction with the districts, and we interact with a couple hundred districts and probably 500 or 600 parents on a daily basis. And so really taking care of our people is of paramount importance to us. And it's those same people that are investing time, burning the midnight oil on a release to get it out on time, or are going to the 80-plus trade shows that we go to at the state, local, and school nutrition level. All of that is we want employees that feel very valued, have the tools they need to do their job, and feel very much appreciated for the work they're doing. So we invest a significant amount of time in our employee culture and in making sure that we're a place that's a destination for folks to be able to work. And a couple years ago, we started a Healthy Heartlander program. So we're part of nutrition and in this industry. We wanted to walk the walk. And so literally, we have walking competitions. But we want our folks to be able to take care of themselves physically, mentally, and being here long term as well. Very, very important to us. The third area, we aspire to be a world-class service organization. And as with those first two, these are all aspirational. We're not there yet. We haven't arrived, but it's where we're heading and where we're trying to get to. And no matter where you are on your customer journey, whether you're somebody that just signed up for a mobile app a month ago, or as I look out in the audience, I see some customers that have been with us 15, 20 years. Thank you. Wherever you are in your journey, we want to make sure that we have the technology, the training, and of course, the people to provide that world-class customer service experience. And I could talk all day on that, but I don't want to steal any thunder from my colleague Amanda, who's going to talk about some of the improvements and things that we've done there to be able to better serve you. And then lastly, we want to continue to push to be innovative in all the different areas that we work. But that comes with a small asterisk. And the small asterisk on that is that because we know the industry, we feel like we know the industry very, very well, anything that we're going to do that's innovative, it has to work. You don't have time for it, a la sort of our lunch situation, that if we get something out there and it's great and shiny and it looks good on a marketing brochure or a PowerPoint, but if it doesn't work, it's not innovative. So we spend an extra amount of time testing and making sure that if we're putting something out there, leveraging those new technologies that might work in other industries, that it's got to be able to work in this industry, and we're vetting that out for you. So those four things really guide us on a daily basis with our goals and everything that we do. I'll be quick to tell you, though, that we don't always get it right. And when we don't get it right, we consider ourselves a learning organization. When things go well, we try to dissect things, take them apart, look at the processes that led to that. But then when things don't go well, we use that same process with increased intensity and rigor to be able to pull that apart and find out what didn't go well. In two areas that we didn't do well this last probably 8 to 10 months, the first one was around on our Mosaic cloud. And over the last 12 to 18 months, we've been very fortunate to see very rapid growth on that cloud platform. And as excited or as prepared as we thought we were through our My School Bucks applications, through our MCS cloud, we still saw on a handful of times this past fall some intermittent latency or things that just took reports a little bit too long to run. And that's not okay, and we're sorry if you experienced that. The last time that it happened in early December, we really took things apart and got experts together and really drilled in and invested in architecture and infrastructure and all kinds of different things that have now put us on the other side of that. The reason we know that is that we have also then put in place proactive monitoring that monitors down to the serving line level. If a report is ever taking longer than a handful of seconds to run, it lets us know. And so, those are things that when we don't get it right, we invest a lot of time and energy to try to get that right. And then it's not enough just to get that fixed and be prepared for the next couple of years. We want to, again, be here long term. So through our parent company, we've been able to partner with Microsoft, and we're getting ready to move all of our Mosaic Cloud customers to the Azure platform. And that opens up a whole host of different possibilities in leveraging new technologies and things. All of that would be invisible to you if you're using it. It's not an upgrade. It just all happens behind the scenes. But it's part of us taking a challenge and some of the adversity and not only trying to make it right, but really making it right for the next 3, 5, 7 years long term. The second area that we didn't get right was around our meal viewer integration to our back of the house products. Our vision when we brought MealViewer into the family 18 months ago, 19 months ago, still our vision, is that in your menu planning software, your system of record, items, recipes, menus, that shouldn't just be a database of data. We want you to be able to push that out, to mobile apps, digital signs, online menus, and be able to change things in one place, and then have that propagate out to everything else. Well, we worked really rapidly to get a version of that first integration together, And for some customers it worked, but for far too many it didn't. And the crux of the challenge was, when you bring a couple different ideas and thoughts together, menu planning is a very site-based program, whereas on MealViewer, it is site-based, but it also can be very line-based or grade-based or all these different things. And so instead of rushing in and trying to get that fixed right away, we were really deliberate about it. And so it's been about five months ago that we started and been working on it. But we're sorry that happened, but we're also very excited that in 1 week we're piloting the next version of that integration that solves all of those challenges that came up in the first one. And we're piloting it on our Mosaic platform, and as excited as we are about that milestone, we're even more excited in May that connector piece, that new integration, will be available on WebSmart, MCS, and NutriKids as well. So being able to use that for all of our platforms. So I hope that those things help get you to know a little bit more about who we are at Heartland, be very transparent about areas when we don't get it right. But I also want to leave you with or let you know that we're always interested in ways that we can do more. And whether that be around technology or not even something that we use anything in our toolbox for, because in many cases, we might be experiencing the same challenges you are. And let me give you an example. Tommy mentioned sort of the recruitment of new staff. Well, any part of employee engagement and enthusiasm and all that, as you guys know, starts with trying to select the right people, getting the right people in the door to be able to start with. And that's a challenge for us too. So we, kind of looking at that and saying, okay, what are some things we might be able to do? The other challenge, of course, that we have and that we share is that more and more of our entry-level folks that we're recruiting they're millennials, just by virtue of age and where they're at in their career, and that requires a little bit different thinking, as we know and as we've heard about trying to bring these folks in. Again, we'll all take engaged and enthusiastic employees from any generation, but we're seeing more and more on the millennial front and needing to address that. The one good thing that we have, or that you have collectively going for us on this, is that millennials, more than any other age grouping, value the importance of the work, the overall mission, and they want to work somewhere of something they can be passionate about. And that's something that you all are doing times 10. But we want to be able to help maybe tell that story just a little bit better than what would be in a job description or the hours or the benefits or those types of things. So we put together this little video that we're going to share with you, and you're going to be able to walk away with it and be able to use it, that we think hopefully captures a little more of the spirit and great things that you guys are doing on a daily basis. Can you play the video?
Hi, if you're watching this video, it's because you've decided to investigate a career in school food service. School food service is so much more than just putting hot food on the line and making sure that children get a nutritious meal. Sometimes you're the only friendly face they see. Take a look at this quick video and you can really see how food service to children can impact lives.
Thank you. So we've put that video on a thumb drive for you to take home with you. For those of you online, let us know, and we can get you a copy of it as well. And we thought, maybe something you could email an employee prospect, maybe put it up on your website, maybe share it even with people that don't know what you do each day. And a lot of those people, some of those people might even be in your own district. So being able to have them be able to take a look at that. So I hope over the course of the last 10 or 15 minutes here, you've gotten to know maybe just a little bit more about Heartland at a deeper level, and what drives us, and what helps craft sort of our goals and our daily execution, and that we'll be obviously very candid with you on areas that we fall short, and that we're always trying to connect up with you to try and do more. So on behalf of all of us here, again, thank you for coming. Thank you for attending our conference here, Connect 2019. And particularly, thank you for letting us be a very small part of the very, very important work that you do each day. Thank you.
All right. As Jeremy said, there's a lot of stuff going on in kind of around us in our midst right now with what we're building and what we're hoping to do for you guys. And we do that because we believe good software should just run in the background and operate. And really, its job is to free you up to spend more time with your staff and more time with your students, and handle those things that come up where you get to actually make an impact in your students and families' lives. That's really the core of what we believe. And so when we do that well, what that does is cause growth. It means that more kids can eat in your cafeteria. It means that you have time to serve more families. It means that you get to run more efficiently, which means that you get to hire more people and get more help, which means more smiling faces at these great kids. And so that's our goal here. But we know that when we do what we do well, and you do what you do so phenomenally every day, and we partner together, that causes growth. Well, growth has its own set of challenges. And as Jeremy mentioned, like with Millviewer this year, like that, we grew so fast, so we had to do a lot of things and like kind of shuffle things around and really put out some fires. And the person who gets to handle that every day for you are the team members that are on our customer care team. And so some of you have talked face to face with Amanda Richardson, and I'll just tell you, she's coming up to talk a little bit about customer care and what we do to help support you. But man, you could not have a better advocate than Amanda. She really loves what you do, and she is passionate about it. We have kicked her out of the office many nights because she's there trying to fix things and get you guys ready, and when we have new customers come on, and get them onboarded as quickly as possible. And so do me a favor. She's been with Millviewer for 5 years, and we're so excited. Put your hands together and welcome Amanda to the stage.
Thanks. Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I am so excited. As Tommy said, my name is Amanda. I've been with Millviewer for about 5 years now, and I have to say that I absolutely love what I do. And when he says that I'm passionate about it, I really am. I love what I do, and I love being able to help you guys with your Millviewer account. I know some of you I've actually been able to work with before, and I've actually know who you are, and I'm excited to be able to see you this week. And then some of you are new faces to me, and I'm really excited to get to know you this week as we go through the week. So very excited about that. I'm a parent of a 12-year-old. He's an amazing little boy. How many of you here actually are parents, have children as well? Awesome. Yes, so you and I understand, we get that connection there. So I understand from a parent's point of view how important it is for you all to be able to connect with your parents and students. And so my goal working here at Millviewer and at Heartland is to help you guys grow your cafeteria participation and reach children with healthy meals and in a vibrant and interactive cafeteria. That's what our goal is. That's what we want to do. And then we want to make that connection and that communication with your parents and students. We want to make that as easy as possible for you. So that's our goal. So today I actually want to share with you a few ways that we've actually been able to improve that connection this year. But then also I want to share with you some ways that we currently have available for you, just to give you some reminders of what some of the things are that we offer for you. Now, we are constantly looking for ways to be able to improve our products and be able to provide tools to help make that communication not only possible, but easier for you. And one of the ways that we've been able to improve this year is with our meal viewer integration. Now, earlier, Jeremy mentioned some of the challenges that some of our districts have had with the meal viewer integration. But since last fall, we've actually been able to invest 3,600 development hours to improve that meal viewer integration experience and make getting those menus out to your parents and students even easier for you. So we are so excited about the progress that we've made in that integration, and we're committed to providing you the best possible experience. And we're going to continue on with that development. We're super excited about the things that are coming up this next year. Now, another way that we've been able to improve our connection with you is by investing in the meal viewer support. This year, we were actually able to triple our meal viewer support team, and that just means that you all have someone right there that is able to answer your questions and be able to respond to your emails even faster. And those team members are actually also fully immersed in the Rochester office as well. So we even have additional support even outside of the meal viewer office. So we're super excited about the new team members that we have. They're great people, and I'm so excited that you all will be able to connect with them. We also have a phone support system that you all can call. I know some of you have been calling meal viewer support team for a while now, and there's no need to call the office anymore and get connected to the meal viewer support team. We actually have direct lines directly to our team members, so you can reach them quickly and easily. We also have an email support email address that you can send and go directly to the support team so that you can reach them as well that way. So whether it's meal viewer support team or anything like that, you've got a support team there that's there and willing and wants to be able to help you reach your goals and empower you to get your job done. Now, while we're on the subject of support, I wanted to bring up the parent support teams. A lot of you may not realize the connections that we make every day with your parents and your students. We have been able to talk with them, and we love hearing from them and hearing from your parents and your students. We actually have a dedicated support team for the My School Bucks users, and our meal viewer team is also trained to be able to help your parents and students with any issues or problems that they have. So whether it's the meal viewer support team or whether it's the My School Bucks parent support, we are here for your parents and students to be able to help provide that same level of support to them as well. So we want to be able to take care of your parents and students as well. And speaking of the My School Bucks, we actually heard from you, those users that have My School Bucks, and we've listened. So we know that unpaid meal balances can be an issue for you. So even with your reminders and emails and phone calls that you send out, you call them, those balances at the end of the year, they add up and they pile up, and that can be a problem for you. So we've listened to that, and we're excited because we're going to be able to release this year a feature that allows you to export those negative balances on your POS and create email notifications that will go out through My School Bucks. So you can track those emails and then send additional reminders to the parents and students as well. This is something that we tried a little bit last year, but we've made some changes, and we're really excited that this is going to be a great tool for you all to use in the coming year. So we're super excited about that. Now, we've covered some of the ways that we are improving our programs, but I also wanted to be able to share with you some ways that we currently have that you will be able to utilize. So some things that we want you to be able to utilize. Your students are more likely to participate in your program if they are engaged and informed and if they feel that connection. So if you're looking for ways to make your students connected to your program and get them excited about your program, one of the ways that you can do that is by getting feedback from them about your menus that you post and the menus that you have and those items that you are showing and you're serving them. So let them know that their opinion matters and get that feedback. So, and this is so true. my 12-year-old is so excited when and he's engaged and excited about the outcome of something, when he actually feels like he has input in what is in a decision or something like that. So he actually is excited about it when he has a part in that decision-making process. So your students are the same way. So your students, when they have the ability to help you guys make the decisions on your food items, they're going to become invested. They're going to become excited about your program. And that's what we want to try to do here at Heartland, is help you get connected with your students in a real way. And because we know that, we want to be able to provide you some tools that you can use. And so if you use the Meal Viewer tool, you know that right there in the app, there is what we call an item rating scale. And that is built there right in the app. So it's easy. It's built specifically for engaging students. So it doesn't matter if they're elementary, if they're middle school, or if they're high school. You're going to be able to engage the students and get them to rate your items and give you some feedback that's actually relevant and that you can use. So if you have the Meal Viewer tool, you can definitely do that. If you don't have the Meal Viewer tool, no worries. We still want to be able to provide resources for you so that you can still get that information. And so what we also provide is free lunch menu survey templates so that you can distribute that to your students, and then your students will be able to fill those out, and you can still get that important information back. And so today, if you have that USB drive actually includes some of those free lunch survey templates. So check those out, and you can use those today or next week. So take that out and get connected with your students in that way. What better way to promote your student and your program than to involve your students in your decision-making process? So check that out and get connected with your students. Now, some of you may not use, like I said, Meal Viewer for showcasing your menus online or on the app, or maybe you don't have the digital signage, and that's okay. We want to provide ways for you to be able to connect by sharing your menus with your parents as well. And so what we also offer, and you will be able to see this on your USB drive as well, but we also offer free menu templates that you can use throughout the year. The ones for this year are actually included in your USB drive, and the ones for 2019, 2020 are going to be posted very soon on the website, so be sure to check those out. So we want to make sure that we're providing you with all the means that you need to connect and make that connection with your parents and students. So as I said before, we know that parent communication is vital to your nutrition program, and it sometimes can be a struggle to be able to get all the information that you have about the events that are going on in your cafeteria, about your menus. You know, it can be a struggle to get that information out to them. So another way that we can connect with our parents and students is by the marketing materials that you have, and it all starts with a successful marketing campaign, because you have these tools that are awesome and they're great tools for you to use, but if your parents don't know about them, they're not going to be able to use them. And so we want to make sure that they know what tools and resources they have, and so we want to be able to provide you with the means to be able to communicate all the information to them so they can actually utilize these tools. And so the way we do that is through our marketing materials. And you may have heard about our My School Bucks parent marketing materials in the past, and maybe you've ordered through that, and that's a great resource for you all to use. But this spring and summer, we're actually going to be offering some Meal Viewer marketing tools for you, free Meal Viewer marketing tools, as well as My School Apps tools as well, marketing tools as well. So be sure to check those out. If you have anything that you want to order here in the next month or so, we're going to be having those available for you to order. So please check those out, get those ready for the next school year. And when you take a look, there's lots of good options for you, whether it's social media marketing or whether it is just flyers to pass out. Those are all free and available for you to use, so make sure that you check those out. So because in realizing the importance, we've actually also included some digital marketing materials in your USB drive, so check those out as well. So again, our goal overall, as you can tell, is to connect you in reaching your communities and your student population. And we value your feedback. We really want to know what matters to you, and we want to know what is important to you and what we can do to help make your program an even better, a better program. And that feedback from you is what drives our direction for our company, and it drives us to be able to make more effective platforms and tools for you to use. So as you attend the sessions this week, please let us know about ways that we can help you to serve your community and that we can help you to connect better with your students. Thank you so much for your time this week, and I'm so looking forward to getting to know you all. So come up and say hi to me, and we will talk to you then. Thank you.
All right, one more section here. You ready? Because this whole thing that we talk about you guys being our heroes, that's not just lip service because we have you in a room and we can like compliment you. It's real for us, and I'll prove it to you. I want to show you a picture. Can we show it? Oh, we have it? Yeah. Okay. So these are my kiddos. Yeah, Jane, aren't these the cutest kids you've ever seen? So. The one on the right is Elliot, and he's grinning because he probably just did something wrong. The little girl sitting on her big brother's lap is Sutton, and we still haven't figured out how to stop her from growing. I'm working real hard on that. But the big guy in the middle, his name's Jack, or Jackson, but everybody calls him Jack. And he's very, very smart. In fact, today he's doing this thing called Battle of the Books, where he had to like memorize facts about 150 books that he's read and like do this whole thing at school. And we're really proud of him. He's very, very smart, but he's also our feeler in the family. You got kids that are like the feelers, and they take everything personal, like his cereal came out soggy, and now he's got to cry about it for 5 minutes. Like that's Jack. And so when he was going to kindergarten, he was really worried about school, like about who he was going to sit with at lunch specifically. He didn't know if any of his preschool friends were going to be there. It was his first transition to a new building. And so we got very fortunate because my mom, who works with us here at Heartland, was the food service director at the district that we lived in. And so she made a phone call for us and called Miss Holly. Now, Miss Holly was the cafeteria manager at my son's new school. And she said, Jackson's a little worried. Holly, could you do me a favor? Miss Holly, we'll just check in on him. So Gigi called in a favor. And so the first day of school, Jackson is sitting there, and he's a little bit nervous. And Miss Holly walks up and sits down beside him. She goes, I bet your name's Jackson. And he was astonished because the lunch lady that was there was also a magician. But she said, no, I know you're Gigi. And he immediately just felt fine about school. He just immediately changed his whole attitude. There was an adult that knew his name. He felt comfortable. And if that's all that she ever did for us, that would have been enough. But that wasn't what she did. What she did was check on him every day. She would go see him every day. Whether he brought a tray or we brought his lunch or got a tray, it didn't matter. She made a point to find my kiddo, like she had done over the 30 years that she had been serving that district, thousands of times with thousands of other kids. She made a point to check in on mine. And he wasn't special, as she checked on lots of kids, but she completely transformed his school experience that first year, and then the second year, and then the year after that, and the year after that, until in third grade, Miss Holly didn't show up for work one day. And my kiddo came home and said, Dad, Miss Holly wasn't at school today. And then the next day, he was a little bit more concerned. And then the next day, he was demanding answers at this point. Miss Holly's not at school. Something's going wrong. We need to track her down. And so he made a phone call to his grandma, and she made some phone calls. And, it became a CSI cold case at that point, and we had to track down Miss Holly really quickly. But we found out that Miss Holly had taken retirement to go be with her husband in sort of his last days. And so they were, at her house, and that, obviously impacted our family. And we're like, wow, what can we do to help? And then we found out a little bit while later that Miss Holly's husband had passed. And in the South, we take people food. I don't know if anybody else does that, but we were trying to figure out which casserole for a cafeteria manager. Like, what is the casserole that you take for that? Is it, whatever. And then Jack came to us and said, hey, I've got another idea. So in the meantime, while he had been going to school for the last 3 years, he had been to the hospital several times because he's clumsy, and had broken bones and arms and things like that. And so they had talked about the kids that are in the hospital when he got back, and the children that he had seen, and the fact that some of them were there for a long time. And she was saying that she, would love to do something for those kids. And so Jackson came down with all his allowance, and he said, hey, what if I take all my allowance that I've got saved, and I get all the change I can find around the house, and what if I go buy some books and toys and crayons and stuff like that for the kids at the hospital and give them to them in honor of Miss Holly and her husband. Now, as a dad, I'll just be honest, I couldn't get him in the car to Walmart fast enough. Never been I'm sitting there going, I'm a terrible human being because my son is so awesome. But I get a little credit. His mom really probably more than me. But this picture is us at the Children's Hospital that's about 15 minutes from our house with the first wagon load out of the car of books and crayons and stuff. And he just emptied his entire coffer to buy some kids some stuff. Now, here's the deal. As a proud dad, I'd love to take credit for that. But I can't. The person who gets to take credit for that is Miss Holly. When I say we believe in what you do, it's not lip service. This has personally impacted my kid. And so let me just say, as a dad, not as a Heartland employee, but as a dad, thank you so much for what you do, because this is real. You guys are maybe the one person in their cafeteria that in their entire school experience that doesn't need anything from them. Coaches want them to practice harder and play perfect, and teachers want them to remember all this information so that they can pass these standardized tests so they can get out of their classes. And then here are you, who just have a smile and warm, nutritious food to offer them and see them every day. And you might be the only smiling face, and you might be the only meal that they get, and you just might be the only positive influence in their life that doesn't also require something from them. And so we know how incredibly valuable that is in a kid's life. And we just wanted to end on this note, just affirming and encouraging you and asking you that this week, would you do us one favor? We've put a lot of effort in to better equipping you. Just lean in, connect with us. That's the whole point of the conference, right? Is that we connect with each other and go home determined to connect with your students and parents, because that's what it's all about. It really does and has made a difference. So thank you guys so much for being here with us for the opening session of Connect. Just sit tight. I've got a couple of housekeeping things. We're going to let the people online. We'll say goodbye to them. We're going to let them take off. All right? Thank you so much.